It's the Chin Checkerz podcast, all about the fight game with Mr. Get That Work and Hawk Von Dame. Grab your device of choice and tune in. You'll never know what topics gonna get it on the chin. Boxing, MMA, UFC as well. They discuss who got the win, who took the L, who won the belt, who pound for pound, who fell, who ready for war, who got next. Ring the bell.
Yeah. You already know what time it is. I'm Hawk Von Dame. That's my brother, Mr. Get That Work. And we are the fucking Chin Checkerz, baby. Yeah. What up, man? How you feeling?
I'm ready. That's what the fuck I am. I'm ready, man.
We got a fun weekend, man. Fury Wilder. But hold on. I wanted to go live. Because we got to get it on record. Because I've been on a bit of a hot streak. I've been on a goddamn hot streak, baby. That's what it is, man. And I think I'm going to do it again. I mean, this is more of an easier pick, but I'm going to break it down. So, of course, this weekend, we got the heavyweight division, Fury Wilder.
Whyte?
Yeah, that's what I meant. All right, man. How do you feel about Dillian Whyte, just in general?
I like his character. I'm not super impressed by him. He seems all around good, but there's just nothing super impressive about him. Just an all around good boxer.
So would you say he's like the Ugas of the heavyweight division?
Oh, damn.
Is that what you going? Is that what you're telling me? He is the Ugas of the heavyweight division. That's basically what you're telling me.
Well, I can't even say that because, he's a little chinny. So I'm not even sure if I could call him that.
You're right, man. One thing that I got to give Ugas mad credit for, even with the broken eye, Spence was just it was his uppercut was just hitting it, and you could see him visibly in pain. And he never quit, man. So all the shit I was dogging him for, to be honest, man, he did his thing, man. I can't even hate on the toughness. But Dillian Whyte, man, plotter. I think he's very slow moving. I think he's a bit more, I'm not sure if crafty is the right word, but I want to say he's a little more dangerous than Wilder.
Sure.
And if you look at it, he stunned AJ with like a sneaky hook. So you called him chinny, which is 100% accurate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous fight. It's a lot closer than I think it's made out to be. If you look at the face to face, AJ Wilder. I keep saying Wilder. AJ Whyte. It's a little bit of respect there. No one's going totally ape shit, throwing anyone under the table, going crazy. Right. I think both of them know. Both of them are very familiar with each other. They both know what's at stake, but they also know each other so well, no one wants to really give anyone that added motivation or they just know. And I'm gonna go with Fury decision. I'll be surprised because Fury has now started to show a little bit of pop.
Right.
I'll be surprised if he stops Whyte, man. But I'm going Fury dominating performance, 10 rounds to 2. Unanimous decision.
Sometimes I go on the opposite side. Not because I just want to go for the underdog, but for the sake of the show. Because I'm a good guy.
Okay. That's
not in this case. That's not happening now. I'm going with Fury by knockout. And, Fury looks like he improved. That's one of the reasons why I say that. And his chin has been tested a couple of times, and every time he gets up like the Undertaker. On the other hand, with Whyte, he got knocked out, before, AJ stopped him. I'm going with Fury, and knockout. I gotta go with it. Knockout. He improved. He improved to me that much. I think he can score the knockout. Yes, Whyte is, a little more dangerous than Wilder because he has more dimensions to his game, but I still think he gets knocked out.
That's funny because I think Whyte's got more of a chance than Wilder. But I'm still going to Fury. With that being said, I'm gonna put the money up. You're gonna talk tough. You gotta put the bread up.
Yeah,
I will be on the apps. I'm gonna put up the money. The only thing that does worry me that should concern everyone. I'm not sure if that video real of Whyte knocking Fury out. Is that real?
Oh yeah, that happened in sparring multiple times, from what I'm hearing. That happened. Let's not say multiple. It sounds bad. It happened several times. I think that sounds a little better. It happened several times in sparring.
Maybe that's why Fury's showing him so much respect. Because I think this is just my opinion. If it ends for Whyte, it's got to end early. That's it. He's got to get him in the first 5 rounds. If he doesn't get him in the first 5 rounds, Fury's got him measured and it's over.
Right.
He has to get him in the first 5 rounds. And I do think he's dangerous, man. The only thing is, I understand his sparring, but when I'm watching the tape, he's too much of a plotter. He doesn't move enough. He's got good movement, but he's a plotter. It's not like he's going to be in Fury's face and get him. I can't see Fury staying still like he did in that video. Not in that video, in that in the video clip of him getting knocked out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's different when they actually get inside the ring. They're performing, with people there in a stadium, the TV, the lights. It's a different thing. You could come come with a different game plan. You know what I'm saying? You come with a different game plan. And like I said, Fury, he looked like he improved and his weight never seemed to be a problem. So I'm going with Fury by knockout, man. But I gotta give Whyte some credit because again, sparring and not for nothing, he looks super calm. He looks super calm, like nobody know like what's about to happen except for him and his team.
Yeah, like that's what I'm a little. I always look for the eyeball test to see how people look at each other in the eyes of the face-offs and things like that.
Facts.
And I don't see fear in either guy. Not saying Fury looks scared neither, but I'm just saying Whyte kind of has that cool, mellow tone.
Yeah,
I know the secret type of attitude, but I'm just curious what other people think. That's why we have to go live. I want to get multiple predictions. So we're gonna have my man join us again. Let's give a little Chin Checkerz welcome.
Yeah,
Captain Chaos. What up, boy?
What's going on?
What's good, man?
How you guys doing? Thank you for having me on again. I appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yo, wait. We're not gonna let you get a pass, though, man.
We're
not gonna let you get a pass.
Starting early, yo.
You said my man Spence was gonna be too weight drained, man. What's going on? Did he look weight drained?
Very simple. Was there random drug testing?
I don't know. Ooh.
It wasn't.
Oh man, shots fired.
Okay.
The same thing they said about Fundora, that he was a weight bully. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's questioning how somebody that is over 6 feet tall can make 155 so easily and have that much energy and that much power. It's never been seen before. And in that fight, there was no random drug testing either.
I mean, that could be true, but I look at his age. He's young. He's a young kid,
Mhm.
so it's not too far that he can make that. Look at these young kids that go to play professional basketball, or they come out of high school to college. Some of them are real tall and skinny. He's probably just built like that.
Let me ask you a question. Who else have you known has done that?
Only person would be Paul Williams,
Paul Williams, but I'm gonna go with another one
and
because
he was at 147
we all New
at
Yorkers,
first.
man. I know a 7-footer that weighed that much. Porzingis. Y'all Knicks fans. I'm a Knicks fan. Y'all remember Porzingis? He was 7'7", weighing 20 pounds. So that's another anomaly. I'm just throwing that out there for you. You know what I mean?
Thing is, in boxing, you can't call a timeout. You know what I'm saying? During the 3 minutes of the fight, you know what I'm saying? There's no timeout. There's no you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your coach can be like, yo, we're calling a timeout because my man's tired or he got hurt. You got those 3 minutes. There's a lot of things that's going on in boxing right now that's never been seen before. Odds of Paul Williams, he's nowhere near did he have the height of a Fundora. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing though, I do want to say this, Captain. There's a lot of guys out there that are getting popped. So I don't want to. I appreciate your speculation on Spence. The only thing is, out of that camp, there hasn't been rumors like there is with Canelo and who's the guy that's about to fight Shakur?
Valdez.
Yeah, you know what I mean. With that camp, we already know that there's some shady business going on. So I feel it's just kind of hard to really accuse someone if it's not there.
This is. I'm not accusing them of anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just that it raises red flags.
It does.
We've spoken before. We spoke on a one-on-one basis on a sidebar, and what's raising these questions is Errol Spence has never made weight over a month. You know what I'm saying, into the fight. That's another thing that's never seen. You know what I'm saying? Most fighters, like we had that conversation. Most fighters, it's a process. You know what I'm saying? They wait till that last week. You know what I'm saying? To grind those gears to make that weight. And the reason why fighters do that is because that's where the most stress in your body comes. You don't want to put that stress on your body during camp, because during camp, you know what I'm saying, that's when that steel sword is getting sharpened. That's when you need all your energy. You know what I mean? Yeah. For the heavy sparring and the heavy lifting. Once you figure like the 2 weeks, before the fight, that's when most fighters start working on that weight thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they start grinding those gears, to make that weight. That's when there's no more sparring. You know what I'm saying? And you see them when they're gonna go make that weight, that they're just like they sucking it up. You know what I'm? And Spence said it himself. He's always had problems. He's always had issues with with weight. He said it with the sauna suit, and he said for this camp he'd have no issues. And he said it had to do with science. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely want to pay attention to his weight going into his next move. Hopefully, it's Crawford. I think there's nothing else other to do but Crawford. But real quick, hold on, man. I'm gonna throw someone else here in the mix with us. A newcomer.
Yo,
Frankie, what up, Playboy? How's everything, man?
How you guys doing, man? Appreciate y'all having me on the show, man.
No doubt.
Good, man.
No doubt. But I want to hear from Captain real quick, and you too, Frankie. What do you think about Whyte and Fury? And Captain, I want to hear your take, because there was a lot of things that came from Fury's camp. Do you think that's going to play a part in this fight, or you think it is what it is, no matter who wins?
What do you mean by the things that are coming out of Fury's camp?
Well, he had a lot of allegations with stuff, alleged, me.
Watergate, Glovegate. It was one point where after a press conference, they asked him about water, and he was like, "Where did it come from?" and refused it. It just looked extremely shaky.
You know, the farmer,
Yeah.
the farmer with the meat is always something. But do you think that's going to play a factor in this fight?
No, not at all. Because you know what it is? That's not going to play a factor in it whatsoever because he's being accused of cheating now, right? And he's been accused of cheating. It's never changed anything. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like if somebody comes up to you and says, "Yo, you know, you're down with such and such gang." When they first make that allegation, you might be shaken by it the first time. But you know what? If you're moving in silence and you're doing everything, once they start accusing you and you're used to it and you know how to what I'm saying, dodge and weave, it becomes the norm. Not that I'm saying that he is that. It's just that he's been accused of so many things that it's just to him it's just like a regular day in the office.
Okay. What about you, Frank?
Man, I don't know about you guys, man, but this fight tomorrow is one of those that I just think it's kind of obvious what's going to happen to me. I don't know if someone sees something else in Whyte that I don't see, but I just look at the guy. I'm not trying to disrespect the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Okay.
Whyte's going to do his thing. I think he's a top 10, top 15 heavyweight in the world, man. But there's levels to this game, right? I think Fury's got the footwork. I think Fury's got the pure boxing skill and the boxing IQ, man. It's just I don't see it lasting longer than 6-7 rounds max, man. I see Fury's beating him up, stopping him, probably knocking him out. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Hey, I'm kind of rolling with that. Not the whole fact that Whyte, not that he's bad. It's just I don't see anything special.
Exactly. He's not an elite talent to me in the heavyweight division, right? He's one of those guys that you got to go through, and he's got a decent resume himself. But like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Like, he got knocked the fuck out by Povetkin. I'm sorry, I don't know if we can swear on the show, right?
Yes, we can, baby. Let it fucking go.
Let's go. All right, so he got slept by Povetkin, right?
Mm.
And the rematch that was after old man Povetkin, who was what, 40, 41, was just recovering. Right. He was recovering from the COVID. And it was a rematch, and it was his last fight. Like, bro, that don't impress me. I'm sorry. Like, who else did he really fight?
So hold on, Frank. Have you seen the alleged video floating around of Whyte knocking Fury out cold in sparring?
Nah. I haven't seen it.
I wish I had it, man. I couldn't get it to play on here, but allegedly there's a video. Captain, did you end up seeing that video?
Nah.
Fuck, man, I'm completely useless today, man.
But you know what though? Let me ask you a question. When has Whyte ever been in an adult fight? Never has. And when has Dillian Whyte ever been smoked? Never has. Dillian Whyte's never been smoked. That Povetkin fight, he was winning that fight. He had that fight in the bag. He got caught with one shot. A shot that would have put Anthony Joshua to sleep. The guy made a mistake. And he paid for it. It's that simple. But nobody's ever smoked him. Nobody's ever been in the ring and said that they've smoked Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is no joke. Dillian Whyte is going to fight. He's coming to fight. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he was a fighter that he's been smoked by somebody, then I'll be like, all right. But nobody that smoked him. Like from beginning to end, smoked him. Never has.
Captain, we lost you.
I said that Dillian Whyte's never been smoked.
Okay.
Never. That Povetkin fight, he was winning that fight. He made a mistake. You can't make mistakes in the heavyweight division. He made a mistake. Povetkin put him to sleep. With that shot, Povetkin would have put AJ to sleep. With that shot, Povetkin would have put Wilder to sleep. You saw the shot. Can't make it up.
Yo, Cat, man, with all due respect, though, man, your man AJ's got a glass jaw, man. So
Hold on.
Yeah, he don't got the best jaw. There's definitely some truth to that.
We've seen him get rocked a few times, right?
Okay.
AJ.
You know what?
No disrespect to Whyte, though. No disrespect to Whyte.
They say he has a glass jaw, right? but AJ is who he is, regardless of what. They said Tommy Hearns had a glass jaw. Tommy Hearns is who he is. You know what I'm saying? So, you can make that assumption about AJ, but AJ, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you right now, that shot that Povetkin landed on Whyte would have put anybody to sleep. That was a picture perfect uppercut.
No, he is a good, like Frank said, he's a good solid boxer. And one thing that I give him a lot of credit for is he takes chances during a fight. He's gonna go for it. So I'm not sure if it's moxie or what kind of confidence or what, but he looks real cool during these press conferences. Is like he has a secret. But with that being said, I want to be very clear. I'm going Fury too. So I want to make that clear.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at this fight, it's an interesting fight. Reason why, I think about AJ and Whyte, how that fight played out. And then I think about AJ and Andy Ruiz. Then I think, how would Ruiz do against Whyte? And I think that'd be a close match. And that's what I'm saying. When I look at that as a close match, I don't see Dillian Whyte, like Frank said, as elite. He's just not there to me. He's not bad. I can never say that he's bad. It's just he's just not there to me yet. That's all.
All right. So let me ask you a question. Did Otto Whalen put work on Tyson Fury?
Yes.
He called one good shot.
He put work on him, right? He gave him work.
In the beginning, sure.
He gave him work.
I wouldn't say give him work. He caught him. He got maybe one good round.
Was that the fight that he cut his eyes?
Yo, Cap, can I ask you a question, man?
1 or 2 good rounds out of the whole fight. I'm not sure if I would call that work. I don't know.
I'm gonna ask all y'all a question about that fight, though, right quick. That was the fight where he got his eye absolutely destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Am I the only one who thinks that Otto Wallin should have won that fight by stopping?
Oh, I don't even know how he could see at this point.
That's my point.
I think that fight should have been a TKO win for Otto Wallin, right?
That's my point.
They let it go.
Crazy gash. If it wasn't Tyson Fury, they would have stopped that fight for anyone else, right?
Very true. Plus money on the line for rematches and bigger fights.
But realistically, if you think about any championship fight, not all bouts, just championships, you get a referee who lets it go a little long because they're giving both fighters a chance. So I kind of don't. I see what you're saying, but I don't mind that because there's been other fights where you see some things happen. You're like, I don't know about that. And the ref is giving both fighters a chance to be great. If he would have stopped the fight, it kind of would have been a big letdown. But I understand what you're saying, but it kind of would have been a big letdown. Even with the last fight with Fury and Wilder, right? It probably could have stopped sooner for both guys. But they let it go to see something incredible happen. It's a championship fight. If I'm a referee in a championship fight, I'm not going to let nobody kill each other, but I'm going to give both guys a chance.
Yeah, I hear what the only thing is the gash was huge, though, right? That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, wouldn't they look at that and be like, this cut is too dangerous? The fight needs to be stopped?
If the doc looked at it and let him go, motherfucker, he gonna go.
And on top of that, he's still all right. He don't have any eye problems that we know of. I mean, it's not out there, so I'm glad they didn't stop it.
Yeah, but I mean that's up to the doctor at that point.
Right.
If the doctor didn't stop it, then you go.
But the point that Frankie G is trying to make is, Tyson Fury got that special privilege because it was Tyson Fury.
Agreed.
If it was anybody else, it would have stopped that fight.
Agreed.
And everybody says that. You know what I'm saying? And there was economics. Like you said, if they would have stopped that fight, we wouldn't be where we're at now. If they would have stopped that fight, we wouldn't have had the Wilder trilogy. You know what I mean? But Frankie is right. If it was any other fighter, they would have definitely stopped that fight. But back to my point, Otto Whalen gave Tyson Fury work. And Dillian Whyte is a way much better fighter than Otto Whalen. A way much better fighter. The reason why people don't give Dillian Whyte the credit that he doesn't deserve is because of what you guys says. Dillian Whyte's that type of fighter. He don't give a fuck. He don't care. Dillian Whyte just does not care. Dillian Whyte is that throwback fighter. Dillian Whyte is that, like, you know, either I'm gonna knock you out or you're gonna knock me out. It's not gonna be a dull fight. It's gonna be like let's let them hands fly, and it is what it is. And you know, that's why he's getting a knock. You know what I'm saying? Never have fought Andy Ruiz the way that they fought in the rematch. I don't really understand what I'm saying.
I mean, I think it's more so from promotion, man, because you know there's other heavyweights who maybe are, realistically they are around the same star power as him. You know, Andy Ruiz, Ortiz, they're around the same star power as him, but you know, Dillian Whyte never really got that chance to shine. He had some moments. He had some moments to shine, but he, you know, I think more so is just promotion on his team, man. I really think so because everybody appreciates a dog. Everybody appreciates a dude that's a dog. So I don't think it's that. I just think he didn't get promoted well.
I mean, I put it to you like this: here in the U.S., they might not appreciate him, but in the U.K.,
yeah,
how many?
Love him.
We're talking about 90. What is it? What's the number? 90,000. What's the number in that arena?
A lot, a hell of a lot. Yeah, they love him. Yeah.
So
but, you know, UK fans are different. So yeah, you're right.
UK fans are way different, man.
100%.
You know, I don't know where they say across the water. They worshipped for years Joe Calzaghe. They had him on this you know larger than life mountain, and they didn't put pressure on him to fight any of the top guys. They just kept throwing him in there with whoever was top ranked over there. So they view their fighters way different on that side. But I will say this: I do appreciate Conor Benn. I don't know if y'all saw the fight last weekend.
Yeah,
that was a slaughter real quick.
And I was very surprised. And you know, I give Conor Benn some credit. I don't know what happened with Chris. Like I said, Chris doesn't have a bad resume. He only got stopped once. He had a no decision, and the other loss he had, he probably really won. He was in Russia for the Russian fighter. They kind of jerked him, split decision loss. He really only lost like once, had a no contest. So he only lost to Earl, and he had a no contest with Ennis. I'm thinking he's going to give this kid some work, give him something to think about. I was real surprised at that fight, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened with Chris in that fight.
Yeah, personally, I thought Van Heerden gave him some rounds at least, man. But that was he just went in there and gave him that smoke and got the fuck up out of the Dodge. That was a quick night, man.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, he heard the check cash. He heard the cha-ching, the cash app go up, and was like, "Nah, I'm not staying in here with this guy. I am out of here."
You don't get paid for time, right? It's not all the time, man.
Yeah.
Does Tyson Fury have the one punch power to hurt Dillian Whyte? And I say no.
One punch?
Yeah.
No,
It's
but
not punch though.
Yeah.
And you know what that means, right? Dillian Whyte, that dog is gonna be. A lot of people are gonna be surprised tomorrow. A lot of people are.
You don't think Tyson Fury could stop?
Are you picking Whyte? Are you picking Whyte? Cap, are you picking Whyte to win the fight?
I'm gonna tell you something right now.
It sounds like you are, man.
I'm information. This heavyweight division that you have right now, is the second best heavyweight division in the history of boxing.
No way, man. No.
The second best. You know which one was the first?
It's Ali's era.
There you go.
All right.
This is number 2.
No way. No way.
No, the 90s were better, man.
Who was in 93? Who's in 90?
Well, for one, Tyson beats all these guys.
Hold on. Who did Tyson fight?
It don't matter.
There you go. You couldn't name
No, he fought guys.
nobody. He had nobody. This is what I'm gonna tell you. From 1 to 10 right now, bro, anybody could take it because they're so evenly matched. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. This division right now, they're so evenly matched right now that you don't know. You're gonna tell me that Joe Joyce is a slouch?
No.
He's not a slouch. No, absolutely not.
You know what? And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this, and I'm sure everyone's gonna laugh at me. It had to be what, like the 2000s, when my man Chris Bird was champion.
Yeah.
That was the transition of the regular heavyweight to the super giant heavyweights. And those super giant heavyweights, Lennox Lewis was there too, but he was starting to tail off. Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko beat everyone in boxing right now in that heavyweight division. Prime. I know AJ got him. When he's already ready to retire. That was the end of his career. And on top of that, Vladimir Klitschko dropped him. And I want to say this. I'm an AJ fan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was proud of him for what he did. But
So come on, you don't think Fury beats him? Because he did. It wasn't pretty, but he did. This is why I kind of disagree with Cat, because I think Fury's just one step above. I feel like he's the most well-rounded heavyweight. I feel like AJ don't got a good chin. I feel like Whyte he just doesn't have enough, to be elite. And sometimes his chin is a little shaky. He got wobbled. And it's different from getting laid out and getting wobbled. Like Fury got knocked down. He gets back up. His legs don't look as bad as how Whyte looked when he gets back up. It looks bad. Like sometimes people just take punches better than others. I think Fury has the best chin, and I think he has the best skill right now. I don't think there's nobody really close to him.
So you're telling me that right now, Joe Joyce has no shot with Tyson Fury? No, none whatsoever.
I'm not saying he doesn't have a shot. I just don't think he's going to be.
But I think it's early.
And neither does Dubois. Daniel Dubois has no shot.
Not a good one.
Yeah, I think he has less of a shot, to be honest. He's a tough kid. That was a tough fight that he had with Joe Joyce. But I think he has a less shot than.
Let me ask you a question. And that states how the division is.
Mm.
Back in those days that you stated, the 90s with the Tysons, when were those fights being made? Where you had two top young dogs in the heavyweight division going at it for nothing. There was no strap involved. No straps. Daniel Dubois was no straps. Nothing was involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You talking about fighters. Lennox Lewis was great. Vitaly Klitschko was great. Vlad was great. I'm talking about the division. Now, if people are gonna say, listen to me.
You named a lot of greats.
Huh?
you named a lot of greats. And
they weren't in the division together.
Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield.
Those are other guys in the
now when it comes to Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield, you know that Riddick he's a super heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? He's a super heavyweight. And sorry to say, what did Riddick do after Evander? And Riddick never fought Lennox. He ran from Lennox. He dumped the belt on the trash and he ran from Lennox. Didn't want to fight that fight. That was the biggest fight, and Lennox ran from it. Yeah. So you can't say that division was good. You know, the fight to be made in that era was Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. That was the Bud Crawford, Errol Spence, and it never happened. So that division right there, out the window. Mike Tyson's division, out the window.
Yo, Cap, man, I gotta counter you right quick, though, right?
Go ahead.
I agree for the most part with what you're saying, but a guy like Andrew Galata would beat the living shit out of Dillian Whyte, man. I'm sorry.
Oh shit!
You see,
Oh,
He ended Riddick Bowe's career, dog.
wait. Hold on a second.
That's the guy that was forgotten about.
But Frankie, how did he end his career?
Riddick Bowe's career. That's how you're right.
Wait.
Career.
He took his balls. Yo, Andrew Galata took his balls and he punched them out of his asshole.
I agree he did that, but if you remember that fight, he was getting tattooed.
Yeah, what was happening before that?
Okay, let me ask you a question.
The ball shot that retired Riddick, man. It was the ass whooping over 2 fights that ended his career, man.
And left him punch drunk.
Yeah, man. Left him.
Hold on a second. Do you know how long Riddick Bowe's career was? Riddick Bowe's career was already done when he fought Galata. Riddick Bowe was done when he fought Galata.
Yo. But that's not what they were saying before that first Galata fight, man. Before that first Galata fight, pull up HBO, the first fight with Galata. All those guys were saying, Larry Merchant and all them, George Foreman, a lot of them were saying Riddick Bowe is the #1 heavyweight in the world today. Now, in retrospect, maybe we can say that he was already done before Galata, but that was definitely not the narrative at the time. The narrative at the time was Riddick was at the peak of his game, Andrew Galata was a tune-up fight, and then we were supposed to get either Tyson or Lewis. They were supposed to figure that out. But Andrew Galata was the bronze medalist in the Olympics. He came in there, he was unknown, and Riddick Bowe took him lightly, and he whooped his ass. And that was no fluke because he did it twice.
Frankie, let me ask you a question. In history,
Yo, Captain, what type of service you got? You over there with Cricket Mobile, man? What's going on, bro?
Hear me? Damn.
yeah, I can hear you. We can hear you now.
I said in history, what is a narrative? It's nothing. It's nothing. Because we already know Riddick Bowe's history. All those accolades that you give him, at the end of the day, they don't mean anything. Because Lennox Lewis was king. Lennox Lewis became king.
Yeah, he was.
You know, and nobody gave Lennox Lewis that prize in the beginning because everybody thought that Riddick Bowe was the man. But what happened to Riddick Bowe? This is what happened to Riddick Bowe. All those wars that he had with Evander Holyfield got to his brain, and his body shut down. Am I making that up, or is that a fact? Let's answer that question. Is that a fact?
Well,
I think a lot added to it, but you're right.
Hold on. Let me just say this, man. Back in that golden era of Ali's era, you had technical skills, you had athletes, and you had like that something special. You fast forward a little bit on, you got more athletes and a lot less technique. Now you go to now, you have a bunch of athletes and some technique. So now it really becomes a debate on, is it skill or is it, what you're born with? And a lot of these guys that are fighting are basketball players, football players converted into trying to be boxers.
Right.
They don't know how to slip punches. They don't have the head movement of that golden era. Now, when we talk about further down the line, Tyson's era, a little further down the line, Evander Holyfield, then Chris Bird, those guys were gold medalists, superior boxers. Now, those are still on the smaller side of things. Once it became more about the athlete, you saw less talent in terms of the boxing skills. Like even when you go with a guy like Vladimir Klitschko, he wasn't really that great of a fighter till he got with Emmanuel Stewart. And Emmanuel Stewart took him to that next level. All these other guys out there, not a lot of them have that old school skill. It's just superior athletes like Wilder's a prime example. And I'm giving Wilder a lot of credit. He gets tons of credit. He's number 2 right now in the world. But he's just an athlete that happens to box. He doesn't have the footwork, the technique, the high IQ that a lot of the boxers from the 70s and the 80s and further on, even into the 90s and the 2000s. It kept getting diluted. And it shows. It shows when you get a throwback fighter like Tyson Fury, who is an athlete and can keep up with these guys. But he wasn't a big puncher, right? He was just a big, goofy-looking guy till he started schooling everyone with his boxing IQ. There's not a lot of guys out there that are throwbacks in terms of the IQ and the technique and things like that. They don't. And it sounds stupid because we're YouTubers, but I did go to the gym. I did work out with guys, and you can tell when the guy's not throwing proper jabs or having shitty footwork. And the heavyweight division always had a lot of guys that didn't have that. But to say that these guys now are compared to those other eras, I gotta totally disagree, man.
Now you're not getting what I'm saying.
Nah, think about Razor Ruddock.
You're not
Even the journeymen were pretty good. Even right.
You're not getting what I'm saying. Other than Ali, another era that you from 1 to 10, and they're even matched. Name me another one.
Yo, I think you're breaking up. I didn't hear any.
I think he's saying name another era when 1 to 10 they were as evenly matched. And I agree with Cap. I do think right now 1 to 10, anyone can beat anybody. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm picking Tyson Fury to win the fight tomorrow. But I will play devil's advocate with Cap for a second, right? Tyson Fury is a crazy dude, man. Only he knows what's going on inside of his head, right? So if he doesn't have his shit right tomorrow, he's in some different type of mind state, and he's talking about this is his last fight and he's going to retire and whatnot. Dillian Whyte's been waiting for this shot for a long time, man. He's been waiting for a long time. So if he goes in there on top of his game and Tyson Fury is not, he can cause an upset. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not impossible. So I agree with what he's saying in terms of 1 to 10 because they're not. I just think number 1 is Fury, and then everyone else is kind of very close. Anyone can beat anybody, and you saw that with like Ruiz and AJ and so forth with Usyk. Actually, Usyk I think is probably number 2 in my opinion because I think he boxes circles around Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder just had a all-time great punching power, right? So how many fights he got out boxed, but then he landed a one-hitter quitter, and it was lights out. It's over, right? I just found a comparison to make my point. What is the biggest fight that everybody talks about, and the two combatants weren't even title holders? The biggest fight. They made a documentary on it. You remember who it was? Gotti Ward.
There you go.
Okay.
Were they Class A fighters?
Oh,
No.
Are we talking about entertainment or we're talking about being elite? Because I knew the moment they announced that fight, that was fight of the year. I knew the moment they said it, that was fight of the year. Yeah.
But you have a Class B fighters, right? Giving you an A+ term, right? You have a division that maybe talent-wise, the division is not so good, but it's just like Gotti Ward. They're so evenly matched. When on earth did you ever think Andy Ruiz, let's be honest, was going to be heavyweight champion of the world?
I picked Andy Ruiz to beat AJ, man. I got witnesses.
You're one of the very few, my brother. You're one of the very few.
I swear to God, man, I'm not talking shit.
Hold on, and then Andy Ruiz almost lost to holy cow,
Chris Arreola.
Come on now, come on, dude.
Yo.
I mean, but we all talking about the heavyweight division, you know, in a division where one punch can change a whole dynamic of a fight. So I understand that. My thing is the reason why I put Fury up there is because if I put him against anybody else, I'm leaning towards him. That's all for me. That's why I look at him as top of the division. Because if you ask me about anybody else right now against Tyson Fury, I'm gonna lean towards Tyson Fury. So that's why I put him at the top of the hill right now. That's why I said everybody else seems evenly matched or close fights, and he seems at the top dog right now.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy? Would you guys would have said the same thing before the Wilder trilogy?
Before which fight? The first one?
Before the Wilder trilogy.
See,
would we be saying that he was top dog?
No, you wouldn't say that because you need to see that performance.
No. Now we gotta pump the brakes.
Yeah, you gotta see that performance.
We would have said that because he was top dog. He beat Vladimir Klitschko. He beat Vladimir Klitschko, and Vladimir Klitschko was at the end, but he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And he didn't beat him as impressively as AJ did, but he did beat Vladimir Klitschko. Now, he ended up having personal issues, which took him away from boxing, which is probably why Wilder did take that fight. Because had he known that Fury was the same guy and was motivated and dealing with recovery and all that and was on his A game, I'm not sure if he would have been so quick to take that fight. Right. I'm not sure if anyone, and I've said this several times, the guy is 6'9", he moves like a middleweight, and he's got super high IQ. It doesn't matter if he doesn't hit hard. You know how hard it is just to punch up to 6'9"? And all these guys are mega giants. Wilder's like 6'6", 6'9". Anthony Joshua is built like Mr. Olympian, but it's hard to punch up and keep your power. And he moves well with slips like a fucking middleweight. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, just to go back to your point, timing. It is all timing. No, me personally, no, I wouldn't have said that. But now I say that. It's just like, probably a couple of years ago when people were talking about Earl and Terrence Crawford. I think more people lean toward Earl because of his size and him looking like the stronger guy. Now they're starting to balance out. Like, people are looking at Terrence like it's a little different. Timing is going to change. You know what I'm saying? When, after you see somebody perform, you're like, okay. And after you keep seeing performances and, it changes, your decision.
All right. Real quick before we get out of here, I think we're all unanimously going Fury, right? Anyone?
Captain?
I'm gonna go with Fury, but it's gonna be a hell of a fight. Now I want to end this off on the dream matchup because I think we all were salivating when we heard Earl Spence call out Crawford. I want to know what you guys think if that dream fight gets made. Which way are you guys going? Let's go, Frank.
Yo, man, my battery's running low, so I'm gonna break it down right quick, and then I'm gonna head out. But I just want to say thanks for having me on the show, boys. Man, it's been a pleasure, man. I love what you guys do. I'm always watching, I'm always liking, and all that shit. So good work for that. The dream matchup: Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Man, I may be in the minority, right? Because I know a lot of boxing aficionados and people that know and experts in the game that know a lot more about boxing than me. Think Terrence Crawford is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. This is my personal unpopular opinion because I've talked to people about it. I've never, you guys say the eye test, right? I've never seen anything from Terrence Crawford that makes me think that this guy is all-time great. I've never seen it. And personally, I swear to God, and personally, his resume doesn't do anything for me. You smashed up on Porter, but that was after Spence already done it. You smashed up on Kell Brook, but that was already after Spence went to the UK and broke his fucking eye socket and took his belt in the UK. So I'm not I'm not saying that Crawford cannot beat Errol Spence. I think it's a 50-50 fight, man. That's going to be a hell of a fight. But I just think Errol Spence, with his resume and also the way he goes to the body often and early, I think he beats Terrence Crawford, man. That's just my opinion. Boys, thank you. Salute.
All right.
Yo, Frank, whenever you want to join us, man.
Yeah, man.
Nice talking to you, Frankie.
Later, brother.
Oh shit! Then there was 3.
Yo, Captain, where you going with it, man?
I'm gonna agree with everything that Frankie said.
Oh my God.
You gonna have to say that again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to remix this. DJ, bring it back.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Go ahead, Cap. You broke up.
Bud Crawford's resume is trash compared to Errol Spence's resume. It's a fact.
What? Yo.
That is a fact.
That's a fact. Oh my
I don't know. That's a fact.
It is.
I don't know. That's a fact, man.
Listen.
So you're gonna tell me the guy who moved up? Let me just ask you this: the guy who moved up from 140. All right, undisputed. I know sometimes undisputed don't mean as much depending on which division, but still undisputed at 140. He moved up to 147, but he stopped everybody. Granted, maybe, we talked about his size, his strength. Maybe sometimes he looks a little chinny. At 147, he stopped everybody. I mean, that's saying something.
Remember what Frankie said. Yeah, he stopped them when Errol softened them up for him.
Not everybody. They didn't fight everybody. Not everybody was the same person, but I understand what you're saying. But it's still, he stopped them.
Hold on. And in regards to Porter, was that really a stoppage?
That was a stoppage.
No. I agree with Captain, man. I agree with Captain, man. He
could have kept going, and I think he still would have got stopped. I think he still would have got stopped.
I think people not giving my man Sean Porter a little. Sean Porter's a pit bull, man. And though he got hurt, he wasn't terribly hurt, man. He got dropped. He wasn't noodly laid.
He wasn't noodly laid, but he got dropped twice real quick. It would have been more. I'm telling you, it would have been more.
But you know what's crazy? I'm gonna flip it now, and you guys are gonna be like, "Yo, you're crazy. You make no sense." Now, mind you,
crazy in general, Captain.
Oh shit!
But
yo, Captain, repeat it. You break it up.
My bad. I said Crawford's resume is trash. But if Crawford was hitting Spence with the shots that Ugas was hitting him,
I'm not leaning that way, bro.
Listen,
let me ask you one question, Captain, because you that's even to me I think is wild. But let me ask you one question. At 147, besides Earl, who could have he fought that he gets credit for? In your book, who can Crawford fight once he moved up to 147 that you look at him like, yeah, that boy is bad? Who does he fight? Because like I said, he stopped everybody at 147, but you still said his resume is trash. Besides Earl, who would you give him credit for then?
That's a question that's answered like this. There's nothing he could have done because we all know he was on the wrong side of the street. He was on the wrong side of the street. He wasn't getting those fights. He wasn't getting the Thurman fight. He wasn't getting the Thurman fight. He wasn't getting the fresh Porter. He was getting the beat up Porter. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't getting the fresh Kell Brook. He was getting the beat up Kell Brook. But back to what I was saying. Ugas, when Ugas hit Spence to the body, Spence felt it.
Yeah, sure.
Ugas don't crack. Ugas does not hit.
Nah, I gotta disagree, man. All right. That's like saying Bernard Hopkins doesn't crack. Yeah, they're not explosive, but they hurt. he's not explosive. He's not an athlete. He's big, but he's not an athlete. Earl Spence is an athlete. Terrence Crawford is an athlete. They whip their punches. They got explosiveness to their shit. Ugas doesn't. But he is a big boy, so I get what you're saying. It's not the same whipping, the same velocity that's coming out of it, but it is more like a thudding power to it. So we gotta remember, Danny Garcia could crack too. Danny Garcia could hit like Keith Thurman came out and said Danny Garcia is the hardest puncher he ever fought. Danny Garcia rocked Earl Spence too. And guess what? Earl ain't moved. Just wiped it off. I think we looking at a different breed, a different slide of toughness, because you did say he hurt him to the body. I think we all can agree he did. We all witnessed it.
Mm-hmm.
When Earl wants to walk you down, he fucking walks you down. And he finishes you. He finished the big boy, man. And he was taking all the guy's abuse. I'm not sure if Porter has the strength to push off.
I mean, Terrence.
Excuse me. We named too many people. I'm lost now. I'm not sure if Crawford has the manpower that, and maybe I'm wrong because he is a strong guy. I'm not sure if he has the strength that you guys had to push Earl Spence away, because every time he pushed Earl did go flying backwards because he's a big, strong dude. He's just not dynamic or explosive.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: I don't know in what round he got that orbital bone fracture, but I'm thinking it was like in the third round. It was early because in the first few rounds, Ugas was giving Errol work. He was giving him work.
He only gave him work in the first round. He only had more punches than him in the first round. That was it. And that's the only round that I actually gave him. And when you look at CompuBox, it was only the first round where Ugas had outlanded him. After that, he got gunshot. Maybe you're right. Maybe he took that injury early, but he got gunshot to that. But he only did good in the first round. Now, after that, he stopped throwing punches.
Yeah. So now he threw very few punches, right? And the few punches that he landed, Errol felt them. Because before he threw the mouthpiece, Errol was rocked. I'm telling you right now, the Bud's resume, it is trash compared to Spence's, but I'm telling you right. No. I mean, but I'm telling you right now, if Bud is hitting Errol the way Ugas did, Errol's gonna have a serious problem. Because I'm telling you right now, Bud could crack. Bud will crack that ass.
Now, I'm gonna say this, man.
Let's go, work.
I'm going with Crawford. I like both guys. And I kind of don't like the fact that people are like, oh, you got to choose one, like this is Bloods or Crips or something. I like both of them. If you ask me, I'm just going with Crawford. I think Crawford is not given enough credit because, yeah, we can say that he got Earl's leftovers when it came to Sean. But, I mean, Sean went 12 rounds. He didn't get stopped by Earl. He didn't get smoked. He got rocked and got back up. And some people thought he won the round and he got knocked down in. He wasn't shot. Like, he wasn't like a complete shot fighter. So that's why I don't understand when people are like, oh, yeah, but he beat him after he beat him. So, look what he did to him. He beat him better. Now, when it comes to Kell Brook, maybe I could agree with that one, but not with Sean. I'm going to say that Crawford, to me, has better accuracy than Spence. I like Spence, but I feel like Crawford got better accuracy. The only thing that worries me with Crawford is that he turns southpaw and then he gets hit with more shots. Not sure why he does it. I'm guessing he's just trying to figure you out, maybe throw you off. But once he switches back, he hurts people. I'm going to go with a wild prediction. I'm saying that Crawford stops him.
Yo, get the fuck out of here.
I'm saying he stops him.
Yo.
I'm saying he stops him, man.
I'm actually going to go in the other direction.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
yeah. I'm going Spence knockout, and I'm gonna break it down like this. Um, John Tavar, shout out to John Tavar. John Tavar says Tyson's gonna win 6-round knockout. It's not going past 6. Tyson Fury.
Damn.
Shout out to John Tavar. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
You were saying Earl stops
Oh,
Crawford.
yeah. Crawford is more of like this wicked, mean counterpuncher. Spence is more the pressure, wear you down, and just beat you down. But I do think when Spence wants to, he can box. So I think it's whoever's going to make that adjustment. But I'm going Spence knockout. That's where I'm going.
I'm going Terrence Crawford stoppage, man.
Wow, you know we're gonna have to redo this episode when they do.
And I'm basing it just off of accuracy, better accuracy to me.
I'm gonna give you guys another prediction.
Let's go.
This is the money. You ready? This is it. The biggest fight from our era,
A draw.
7, was Trinidad De La Hoya, right?
Okay.
Bud Crawford does not outsell De La Hoya Trinidad. Pay-per-view wise does not outsell it, but I guarantee you it will be a better fight. It will be a better fight.
I hope so, man, because I was disappointed with De La Hoya's performance in that fight, man. And I'm a De La Hoya fan. Even though I'm Puerto Rican, I'm more of a De La Hoya fan. Shout out to Julian Blum. He used to love fucking Trinidad. I was more upset with Shane Mosley after that fight taking on Winky Wright instead of dodging Winky Wright so we could get Sugar Shane and Trinidad. I think that would have been more explosive than De La Hoya Trinidad. And I honestly don't know who the fuck would have won that fight between Sugar Shane Mosley and Felix Trinidad. One of the all-time greatest fights not to happen, man.
Not to happen.
It's a crime.
I got a question for you, and this is a big one. Being that Spence is from Texas, right? Do you think he's gonna get the Mexican fan on his side?
I don't think either guy will.
I don't know.
I'm fucked up.
I don't know.
I'm telling you right now, if Spence can get that Texas fan base behind him, he's gonna be like, yo, 60-40.
Well, I mean, 60-40 is fair. I mean, I think that's fair. It's fair.
I'm telling you right now, the Latino fan base is, if Spence could dial in that fan base, it's a wrap. It's done. It is over. Look, because and the sad thing about boxing, it is racial. It's racial.
Oh, of course.
Because it's war. It's war, and when it becomes when you talk about war and combat, it's territories, battle lines are drawn.
Yeah.
If Spence can get that Spanish or Latino crowd behind them, like, you know, if the Mexican American fans are saying, yo, we're going with Spence because, you know, he's a Texas boy and we're rocking with him, yo, those negotiations are going to be very, very tough for Bud, because he's going to be like, yo, I got the fan base.
Well, I mean, Bud, you know, not for nothing, Bud seemed like he wanted this fight a while back. Not saying that Spence did it or he was scared. I think Bud is going to take it no matter what.
I hope.
I think he's going to take it. I don't think he's going to even worry about it. Spence said he's not going to worry about splits. But if it does come up, I think Crawford will still take it. I think he'll still take it. I mean, there's been more robberies. We got Tyson Fury with Whyte. Tyson is getting 80%. That's why Whyte didn't want to show up to the other press conference. Why? Right. This guy's getting 80%. Let him fucking do most of the work. I get it. I you know, it's not like that. I think it'll be 60-40, but you know, I think Bob would take that.
Do you think that this fight, if Bud and Spence fight, it'll be bigger than Wilder Fury?
It should be.
It should be.
It
Yeah.
should be, definitely.
It should be.
These are two of the
It
pound
should
for
be.
pound best, and not because one is purely power and one is purely technical. They're both a hybrid mix of everything, man, and they're both fucking electric. Now, just me, my opinion, I had that fight being a landslide, man. And it turned out to be the way I called it. This fight is a pick'em fight. This is Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, man. It's too hard to pick. In the middle of the fight, it's gonna be a give and take, and it's really gonna come down to whoever could make that final adjustment. And you know what's crazy? I think that Crawford has to knock him out. I think Crawford has to knock him out to win, because if not, I think Spence is just gonna be on him too much. And let's stop acting.
If he outboxes him,
well,
if Crawford outboxes him and it's clear that he wins, it's a draw.
Does Crawford really try to outbox people, or does he try to power box you and take your goddamn head off too?
No, I know. I'm just saying, if it came out to the decision and Crawford was up on the cards, I think it comes out to be a draw. That way, everybody gets paid and can run it back. They want to do that. So,
right.
I definitely could see this going through a trilogy, just like
really,
yeah, I could see it. You too, Captain?
I can see too.
Yo, man, I appreciate y'all.
One thing that's very important.
Definitely, go ahead, brother.
You guys are social media, and I know that social media and boxing, they get criticized a lot and they get shitted on a lot. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. You guys, the social media, all you guys are the reason why all these dudes is making the money that they're making. These boxers are making the type of money that they've never made before. Right now, boxing is on top of the world. When Floyd was king, there was nobody close to Floyd. Right now, Canelo's king, and Spence is right there. The winner of Spence versus Crawford will be king. They will pass Canelo. And that's something that's never been done in boxing. There's always been one king. When Sugar Ray Leonard was on top, it was only Sugar Ray Leonard. When it was Floyd, it was only Floyd. When it was De La Hoya, it was only De La Hoya. The reason why everything is so big right now, all of these dudes are making all this money, is because of you guys, because of social media. And you know what? There's a lot of guys that talk a lot of shit and people don't like them. Yo, listen, man, any publicity is good publicity. And that's why these dudes now are making the type of money that they're making. I'll argue that shit with anybody. If it wasn't for social media and if it wasn't for the boxing YouTubers talking the shit that you guys talk, bro, these dudes wouldn't be making the money that they're making.
It's a double-edged sword with that, but yeah, I can see that.
Fuck that. I want to
double-edged sword.
Credit, man. I appreciate that. I'm gonna let him give us our flowers work. Fuck that. I agree with them. But
it's a double-edged sword, man.
Go ahead, work. What were you saying? I mean,
I was just saying it's a double-edged sword because social media, and I talked about this before, and social media definitely plays a big part in it, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to social media with boxing. But yeah, I feel what you're saying,
bro. Like the old saying goes, whether it's good or bad, if they're talking about you, your ass is doing something right. and social media, yo, you guys talk a lot, whether it's good or bad, but you guys keep that boxing flowing. And we never had this, man. We'd have to buy the Ring magazines. You guys know. We have to wait a month for the Ring magazine.
Yeah.
Yo, that you see, you bringing it back to my day. Not only did I have the Ring magazine, man, I used to have to borrow videotapes. You know how hard it was to get classic fights, and then they only show specific type of classic fights I'm not even sure if it was classic ESPN. I don't know what it was, the channel that used to show, the old Muhammad Ali fights and things like that, the old Roberto Duran fights. But I'm glad we're in the position that we're in now, because we get to go back and watch videos of old iconic fights, but then also we get to go back and recap recent fights. And I appreciate you for what you said, because my man Work here did some real shit that I know a lot of people didn't realize in the last episode on Earl Spence losing focus during fights and getting duffed and spitting out his mouthpiece and chasing after it like a little toddler looking at it. Right. And he does it all the time. So if you haven't seen it yet, check out our last episode. Our man Work breaks it down for all these people. But yo, I want to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Our man Frank for coming through. I want to give a shout out to Julian on the check-in. Awesome, iconic on the check-in. Captain, we appreciate your crazy ass coming through. You are always invited, my guy. Always, brother. You bring it all the time. And I also appreciate the conversations we have on the other side. And I think what you hit on is a good point, and we should do a whole episode on, not the shit on boxing, but the dark side of boxing. Mm-hmm. How you brought up something that I'm sure I wasn't aware of,
and neither was I.
And for the people that just tuned in now, you brought up what?
There's a gentleman, another social media dude. Another YouTuber, because I don't want to take credit for something that doesn't belong to me.
No, shout him out. It's more than enough love.
Showbiz, I forgot his Showbiz, rate something like that. And he said when the commission doesn't order random drug testing, the fighter's got to pay for it. And he said it. He backed his words. And then I did my own research, and I asked, and they're like, "Yeah, man. If the commission says you don't have to do it, then it's up to the fighters to pay for it." And this is the kicker. Like, let's say me and you are fighting, right? And I'm saying, well, you know what? I want the random drug testing. I'm gonna pay for mine. You could say, oh, well, hey, listen, I'm not paying for mine, so hey, go spend your money. And it's a lot of money. Random drug testing costs a lot of money. And that's why you got a fighter like Ugas, who'll say, yo, if Spence doesn't want random drug testing, fine, I'm good with it. Because how much did Ugas make off this fight? Did the numbers come out yet? Or how much he made?
I don't know.
So he's not gonna get those paydays. He's not gonna get those big paydays. So he's gonna want all that money. He's gonna try to penny pinch, and he's gonna be like, you know what? Forget about it, man. Forget about the random drug testing. I don't want.
That's definitely short-sighted, and I think Floyd was as much as I criticize him, man, I criticize him more for the matchmaking, not the fighter or the businessman, the matchmaking, because Floyd was one of the first guys to go, nah, you're taking drug testing.
Right.
No, those gloves are too soft. Respect the Floyd in that sense. And the YouTuber that you're referring to is Showbiz 2Z's, Showbiz _ the adult.
There you go. That is him.
Yeah.
And he also pointed out that Deontay Wilder was such a stand-up dude that he would say not only would he pay for the other fighters' random drug testing, he would also pay for his. He's like, nah, man, I'm paying for everything to make sure everything was on the up and up.
I wasn't a big Wilder fan, man. I was super, this guy's not technical. He's only a one punch pony. I developed so much respect for him, and regardless of win losses, this is what I mean. Where a lot of young fighters need to look at this. That trilogy he had with Fury is now going to be watched pretty much forever. The same way how we look at Ali and Frazier, the same way how we looked at Bo and Holyfield.
Yeah.
It was a legendary fight. It doesn't matter about the result. People are always gonna remember Wilder, and then little by little, stuff like that's gonna trickle out. Yo, you know Wilder did the drug testing. You know he had the situation with his daughter.
Yeah.
You know, respect the bronze bomber. Yo, I got so much respect for this man. I hope he fights again. You know, I know he's chilling right now, and I know Andy Ruiz is supposed to be fighting King Kong.
Right.
So we got a lot of heavyweights in the mix, man. We want to see Deontay Wilder back in the mix, man.
See what I mean?
But it's not all time great, Captain. It's to cut it out, baby. Cut it out.
Nah, Ortiz don't need Ortiz don't need to be fighting no more, man. I like Ortiz, but he really don't need to be fighting no more.
You
Realistically,
don't think Ortiz could take out Andy Ruiz?
I think so.
at this time frame, maybe not.
next time.
Yeah, maybe right now. I don't know, man. I think it's a close fight, man.
Oh, it is a close fight.
Just prove my point. Look what you just said. It's a close fight. This is the best division.
It's close. It's close with the second tier fighters. I agree with that. Not the top tier. I think it's and I don't even like Usyk, man. I can't stand that.
Oh, yo, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yo, please. He was a great cruiserweight, though. He was a great cruiserweight.
Yeah.
But check out the other heavyweight fights. Those were such lame performances. Come on, man. You can't. He did smack my man AJ, but I broke down that fight. AJ should have hired me as his damn fucking trainer. We would have had a different result. Yo, and I'm also saying this. I'm an AJ fan. AJ's washed. AJ's washed. AJ will never be heavyweight champ again.
Wow.
Throwing that out there. He may get another title shot. He'll never be heavyweight champ again.
You think depending on who stands in his way? Because I mean, I don't really listen to Tyson Fury when he talks because he'll say something and then there'll be something else the next day. So I don't think he's gonna retire. But let's say he does retire after this fight. AJ could become a champion. Wow.
Yo, I was always team AJ. I think AJ beats Wilder. I'm not sure if AJ beats Wilder now. Matter of fact, I know he don't beat Wilder now.
Really?
I know he don't beat Wilder. We've seen Wilder get beat down for 5 fucking rounds of getting his head smashed in and still keep going. We didn't see that same lion when Andy Ruiz was throwing bombs at him. He looked all glassy-eyed. Could you imagine if Deontay Wilder catches him with one punch? It's lights out. Lights out. But, final thoughts before we get out of here.
On what?
Tomorrow's going to be a hell of a fight. It's going to be a barn burner. They're going to war.
All right. Well, my take, I got to say, man, I think Fury stops him. I think he stops him a little later on, 8 or 9, but I think he stops him.
I would kind of go with that. I definitely was leaning more towards a decision, but you know, I'm still gonna go with that, and I'm making a bet, man. Tomorrow I'm making some more money. Yo, Captain, I'm hot, man. I don't know if you know, man. I'm hot, baby. I gotta let him know I'm hot, baby. Podcast champions of the world, baby. I'm hot, baby.
That's right, brother.
Yo, fellas, it's always good having you on, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Later.
Later.